Before I get into the directions, there are two things that we need to cover first. And the first one is real short, and it's the difference between a primary and secondary source. And then it's background, just kind of catching you up on what we've learned so far before we because that's what we're doing today, before we dive a little deep with these three things here. So that first one, primary versus secondary. A primary source is something that was written, something that was created, because it could be a painting, it could be a piece of clothing, it could be a whole variety of anything that was made in the time period, okay? That was created in the time period, okay? That's what a primary source is. It's something old, okay? It's something from the time period that you're studying. And so each of these were written in the time period that we're studying. Okay, it's like somebody saw it and then they went and wrote down what it was that they saw. And so we call that a primary source because that's where we start. It's the primary evidence we have to learn about a piece of history. Okay, textbooks. I guess I don't have one. I guess this is kind of a textbook. Textbooks are secondary sources because they are a historian, typically a historian writing about those primary sources, okay? Historians are all about primary sources, okay? So the vast majority of history you've experienced has been through the eyes of a historian, been through the eyes of a secondary source. So it's fun. It's interesting when you guys actually get a chance to be the historians and look at the primary sources itself, because all those history textbooks, all they are is some guy reading this stuff and then putting it into his own words with a little bit of interpretation, kind of working his opinion into it. Okay, so that's primary versus secondary. All right, now background. I've been using this metaphor of space exploration, okay, for experiencing the discovery of the new world, right? People going to this vast area, right? This completely foreign landscape of a new planet. Well, that's what it was like for these Europeans, right? They're coming from Europe all the way on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. They're in these rickety ships, sailing vast oceans with all kinds of dangers. It was a dangerous thing to do, right? But they cross that Atlantic Ocean and they find the new world. So why would they want to do that, right? Why would they want to go on that dangerous journey to this new world? Well, because of God, glory, and gold. Those are the basic three reasons for why somebody would want to come to this new world. And those motivations might be different than what you would want to go to space for, but the concept, the basic idea is generally the same, of going to this completely new world. And so we've got those three different motivations. They wanted to go for religious reasons. They wanted to go for, so they could get their name in a history book, right? For the glory of themselves, or because they wanted to get rich, right? And so what you're going to do here, get into the directions at how many minutes, what you're going to do is you're going to read this with the lens of looking for which G, right? Looking for which motivation it is. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. Okay, is this God, glory, or gold? Which one is it talking about? Okay, then once you think you've got an idea of which one it is, I want you to highlight. Okay, so you're going to highlight the sentence that's tipping you off. It's like, okay, and I'm just going to choose a random one here. Ooh, hey, this is the one that really tipped me off to think that it is about God. Okay, I'm choosing basically intentionally the wrong answers here, but I'm going to highlight this and I think it's about God. Okay, that's what clues me in. It's about God. I'm going to come up here, I'm going to type in God, and then I'm going to come down here to the main idea, and that's where I'm going to put the whole thing into my own words. Okay, I'm going to you're just going to write what the main idea is. Okay, so we've identified what topic it's talking about. Okay, so we're really general there. We've highlighted the sentence that relates to why we decided it was God, glory, or gold. And then we're just coming down here and we're saying what is the meaning of that entire source? Okay, what is the author talking about there? That's the way I should describe it. What is the author talking about there? What's the main idea? All right, so there you go. It's really the process there is really not that hard. Reading primary sources, though, can be a little bit hard. Okay, so look for vocab words, look for specific words that jump out at you to try and make meaning out of this, to try and understand what the author was talking about. All right, so we'll do this in class as well. I'm making this video as a reminder, but also for the kids that weren't able to join us.